Blood horror story. The Other Ranger. The cameras don't lie unless they're showing you doing something you never did. That's what kept looping in my head that night when I watched myself walk into the forest on screen while I was still sitting in the control cabin. The beginning. I've been a park ranger in Yellowstone for 8 years. You'd think that by now I'd have seen it all. Grizzlies, lost hikers, forest fires, weird tourists who think bison are friendly, but nothing prepared me for what I saw in those CCTV feeds. It started on a quiet Friday evening, the kind of cold that bites through your gloves even before the sun's gone. My partner, Ranger Dale, had gone home early to his family in Gardner, leaving me alone on night duty at the Northern Watch Post. The forest outside the glass windows was pitch black, just the soft hum of the heater and the buzz of the security monitors filling the air. We had 16 cameras spread out across the north sector of the park. They picked up everything from the bear dens to the hiking trails. Around 11:47 p.m., the motion alert pinged. Camera 12. Location: Old Timber Trail, a trail that's been closed for over a decade because of sinkholes and unstable ground. No one goes there anymore. The footage. I leaned closer to the screen. The static cleared and I saw a man. He was walking slowly down the path, flashlight swinging in his hand. At first I thought, great, another drunk hiker sneaking in after dark. But then my stomach twisted. The jacket, the ranger badge, the exact same cap, that was my uniform. I squinted closer. No mistake, that was me. The man on screen had my height, my build, my beard. Even the same scar on my left cheek, a mark I got last summer breaking up a bull elk fight. But here's the part that froze me. I was still in the control cabin, watching. I checked the time. 11:48 p.m. I was right there, sitting in that chair. But the camera was showing me walking a mile away, entering the forbidden trail. I thought maybe it was old footage somehow replaying, but the timestamp matched perfectly. Live feed. My hands started to shake. I grabbed the radio. Base to Southwatch, you picking up anything weird on your feeds? No answer. Just static. Into the dark. I had to make sure. Against all protocol, I grabbed my rifle, strapped on my flashlight, and stepped outside. The air was cold enough to sting. The forest looked endless, the pines bending under the weight of the wind. The old timber trail was about 1.5 miles north. Every crunch of snow under my boots sounded too loud. Halfway there, I stopped. There were footprints, my footprints, heading in the same direction I was going. I bent down to inspect them. Fresh. Exactly my size, exactly my tread. My throat went dry. No way, I whispered to myself. I followed them anyway. I don't know why. Curiosity? Fear? Duty? The deeper I went, the quieter the world became. No wind, no insects, just my breath fogging up in the beam of my flashlight. The second camera. When I reached the trail gate, the one chained shut with a rusted padlock, it was broken open. On the tree beside it, the camera 12, was still blinking red. I lifted my radio again. Base, this is North Watch. I'm at Old Timber Trail. The gate's been... Then I stopped. Through the trees, maybe 20 feet ahead, I saw a light. A flashlight beam. Someone was standing in the middle of the trail, and they were facing me. I aimed my light and froze solid. It was me. Same jacket, same rifle, same face. The other me tilted his head, the same way I do when I'm confused. Then he smiled. Not a normal smile. It stretched, unnatural, wide enough to look painful. Before I could speak, he raised his hand and pointed, directly at me. Then his flashlight went out. Darkness swallowed the trail. I heard footsteps rushing towards me, fast, heavy, coming straight through the trees. I fired a warning shot into the air. The sound echoed, but the footsteps didn't stop. I turned and ran. Back to base. By the time I reached the cabin, I could barely breathe. I slammed the door shut and locked it, shaking. My watch said 12:06 a.m. I went straight to the monitors. Camera 12, still active. The trail was empty again. I rewound the feed 10 minutes. There I was, the other me, walking calmly down the trail, flashlight in hand. But then something new. At 11:58 p.m., the man stopped, turned toward the camera, and smiled again. Then he said something. I cranked up the audio. Static hissed. Then faintly, under the wind, a voice whispered, "You shouldn't have left the cabin." My blood went cold. I slammed the system off. The call. I called Ranger headquarters in Mammoth. The line crackled before a voice answered. "Jesus, Mike, what's going on? You sound like you've seen a ghost." "I did," I said. "Check the feed from Old Timber Trail. You'll see me walking." He cut me off. "Mike, I did check. There's nothing on those feeds. They're dead. No video, no audio, not since 8 p.m. I stared at my screens. All 16 cameras now showed static. That's when I noticed something. The door handle behind me was slowly turning. I turned with my rifle raised. "Who's there?" The handle clicked again, then stopped. Silence. I inched closer. My breath fogged up the glass. I could see my own reflection. Except my reflection wasn't moving like me. It blinked when I didn't. It tilted its head, slow, deliberate. And then it smiled, the same stretched grin I saw in the forest. I stumbled backwards. No, no, no! The lights flickered. The monitors flashed, one by one turning back on. Each camera now showed the same image. Me, standing outside the cabin, watching myself through the window. I could hear the voice again, whispering through every speaker. "You came looking for me. Now, I'm home." The screen went black. And then, something knocked from the inside the wall behind me. 3 slow knocks, like someone knocking from the other side of the room. I turned around. The wall was wooden, no doors, no vents, just tapping. Tap, tap, tap. If the forest ever calls your name, don't answer. Because whatever's calling, it might already be wearing your face. The Other Ranger, Part 2. The Investigation. When dawn finally broke over Yellowstone, the world looked almost normal again. Sun glinting off frost-covered pines, birds calling somewhere deep in the valley. Except for one thing. Ranger Mike Carson, me, was gone. At least, that's what the report said. The next morning, Ranger Dale arrived at the North Watch Post. The door was locked from the inside. No signs of struggle. Coffee cup still warm, rifle still leaning by the wall. But no Mike. He radioed HQ. Within an hour, 2 federal officers and a forensic team rolled in. The kind of guys who wear plain clothes but carry big flashlights and bigger questions. The footage. They powered up the security system to recover the previous night's recordings. At first, every camera showed static, except one. Camera 12. The timestamp? 11:48 p.m. There was Mike, walking calmly into the forest. Dale froze. "That's impossible. He radioed me from the station around midnight." The agent rewound it, slowed it down frame by frame. The man on screen. Same ranger uniform, same beard, same scar. Turned his head toward the camera and smiled. Then, for a split second before the screen cut to black, the face changed. Not completely, just slightly distorted, as if the features were melting, rearranging. Eyes widening, jaw stretching, smile cracking open wider than humanly possible. The agent paused it there. "Copy this frame. he said quietly. "We'll send it to analysis." The search. They organized a full search party, 8 rangers, 2 K9 units, and a drone team. They found tracks, boot prints, identical to Mike's. But halfway through the old timber trail, the track split. One set turned left toward the river. The other curved back toward the watch cabin. No sign of a struggle, no blood, just miles of silence. Then one of the dogs stopped, whining, its hackles raised. The handler pointed his flashlight. "There," he whispered. Something was sticking out from the frozen dirt, an old metal camera, half buried. The model was outdated, stamped with a 1990 serial number. It shouldn't even be there. When they brushed the dirt off, they saw something carved on the